right, we got it together on a Tuesday night, and the heat continues. It's so hot outside. Kind of like the sky can't get blue. It's only like a blue-gray. It's baked. The sky gets baked. It's probably because of the humidity as well, but man, oh man, it's going to get better and better, I guess. I hope that you guys are ready for another 2-hour information dump. We are living through history, and I always wondered, well, what would we do if we saw this kind of stuff happen? Well, this is what we're doing. On the fly, doing what we got to do. We're all gathering together, and even though we don't have all the answers, we've got the company. And that's just, that's all you need sometimes to get through, is just to have some good company. And tonight, I'm going to be opening up the lines. I want to hear you guys' thoughts, your theories on this, that, the other. And I have this, that, the other to give you. A lot of stuff. Stuff that, I mean, it doesn't stop coming. And I have to imagine it's not going to stop for a while yet, because something went wrong, folks, as we know. Something went right. Something went right, too. But something went very wrong for a lot of people. And I just wonder. You just wonder. So welcome to the show. It's Tuesday, the 16th of July. We are now halfway past the month, creeping toward August. And the number to call in tonight is 914-200-0269. I would also like to bring your attention to the YouTube, because every night while we still have YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, again and again and again, all I'm just going to keep saying is I've already heard about a couple of different channels that are even a lot more agreeable than we are over here. I know we can get pretty salty some nights, but I've already heard about a couple of channels just getting shut down. So who the hell knows? It's just one of those years, and things are going to get really, really, really dicey. So if you are a Google/YouTube user, and that's what you are most comfortable with, by all means, keep going until the very end, whenever the hell that end is. And I would just say, make sure that you have quitefrankly.tv bookmarked, that you have your own personal reminders for 7 o'clock every night, and do not take YouTube activity as an indicator of our being around and active. That's all I'm saying. Whether it be quitefrankly.tv, Rumble, just do that. And while we are still there, I have a poll that's going to be going up every night, and here is the poll tonight. The question of the day, which I hope you all go and vote real quick. Even if you're not watching on YouTube right now, head over there real quick just to vote in it, and leave a like, of course. Here's the poll for tonight. Who would you rather have as the Secret Service director? Would it be, number 1, Chief Wiggum from The Simpsons, Mr. Snuffleupagus from Sesame Place, Columbo? That you actually might, but nobody would get away with anything if we had Columbo, Peter Falk. If he was the director of the Secret Service, I might have just, that has to be what most people are going to say. But 20% of people are already saying other. And with other, please comment after the show. Comment in the comment section, not in the chat, because the comment section is what's going to bring the episode to life, and it's going to get suggested to all the people who are already subscribed to the channel but don't know anything that's going on the channel, because that's just the way the cookie crumbles over here. All right, so there is that. Let's just get into a couple of our guest tonight, Harrison Smith. We had to reschedule, but tomorrow I think we're going to be on with Isaac Weishaupt, and it was going to be talking about the Trinity test. Today is the actual anniversary of the Trinity test, and who knows? We might be able to attack on a lot more tomorrow, because there's a lot of occulted things that are going on. There's a seen, and then there is the unseen. And what a week this has been. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. But tonight it's going to be you and I, and hopefully a lot of our friends call in. Last night I had a couple of special guests that were going to call in the second half of the show, and then we had the power outage. Con Edison has been working on the power around here all day today. I have a buddy of mine that works at Con Ed. He said, hey, I'm on your street at the studio. I said, oh, yeah? He goes, you guys have any problems? I said, yeah, actually went off in the middle of a broadcast last night. Screwed some things up for me. But I'll tell you one thing. I think I'm going to start sprinkling in some segments where there is no camera on. It felt really good. You put up a couple of funny pictures, something to get people through, and everything else is just sit back, relax, close your eyes, and envision it happening. Good stuff. Also good stuff. Today's recording that I did with Dave from the X22 Report was really nice getting caught up with him. It was really nice. And whenever I get him booked on this show, I have some questions. I have some questions for that guy. And we had a good time today. It was nice talking to him again, and it was friendly and fine. And you be on the lookout for that either on a Friday or a Saturday release. That's what he says. So there you have it. So go and vote on the YouTube, and then that's that. All right, into the grab bag we go. Into the grab bag we go. I now you might have seen this Prophet clip. There was from about 3 or 4 months ago. What was it? Amanda Grace and Braden Biggs. They were on a show. It's called what the hell is it called? Is it Pastor Steve Chocolanti? Pastor Steve Chocolanti? I don't want to get that wrong. It was crazy. I mean, you can look at this stuff and you can say, hey, these people, a lot of these prophet types, mediums, are they for real? I think some definitely are. I think so. I think that we were physically built to have this kind of sensitivity, this kind of intelligence, and to receive visions, to be a seer at times. Of course, it's always, it's always when somebody brings themselves out into the public and they start making a brand out of it that you often become skeptical about there being some sort of a grift or whatever. But this, of course, has got a lot of people's attention. This 1-minute clip from a larger, I think a 30-minute episode or something. It's got this guy, Brandon Biggs, saying something very, very specific about Donald Trump and a traumatic event that would lead to a true religious and spiritual awakening. Take a listen to this one if you haven't already.
Throughout America, and I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking. People say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming. And then I saw people interceding I saw him winning the presidency through great, the Lord showed me it would go clear into the summer. Great persecution would come on him through the judges and through the law and all these people trying to sue him and all this stuff. But there would be a stop to it, and things would start to break free come toward the fall. And then I saw him winning the election through the Patriots coming out and voting. And
well, say what you will, and I'm sure a lot of people will reserve judgment or just throw it out the window completely. But that's pretty specific. And with the Florida case getting thrown out and the Supreme Court rulings that, his legal calendar, the calendar has opened up for him. And after Saturday's, the attempt on his life on Saturday, I would have never tuned into the first night of a Republican convention. I think it's the cringiest thing. I think it's like second most cringy thing to like what do they call it? CPAC, conservative. Is that what it is? Everybody goes down and it's just so cringe. I can't stand any of that shit. But I wanted to watch this. He looked pretty overcome with emotion there. Very strange night. Some people, whatever I did, I think that guy, the Teamsters guy. I'm not a unions guy. But I understand the mission statement for unions, but the Monday morning quarterbacking or hindsight being 2020, they aren't very, I don't know, they're on the wrong side of history a lot of times these days. But the Teamsters guy, he at least he knew the time of day. Like, he really was good. I don't know what the prescriptions are there, but really good at showing where things fall short and how Washington, D.C. really works and how big corporations, really work in many cases, like Amazon, those gigantic ones that are the size of like multiple countries put together. That was interesting. There's just some stuff I couldn't. Amber Rose showed up. I was like, damn, isn't she a porn star or something like that? So what the hell's going on over here? Which, well, I guess everybody can choose to turn things around. Is she turning it around? I don't know. But the real reason why I couldn't listen to her is because she kept smacking her mouth in between every syllable, smacking the lips, every syllable. Oh, God. All right, well, we'll see what happens later. Mute. But to my chagrin, Trump was not speaking last night, or else I would have never watched. I'm sitting there like an idiot waiting for him to say something because I want to just, again, gauge body language. I want to see if it gets choked up or whatever the hell's going on. I guess that's going to be tonight. How many nights does this go on for? 2-3 nights? So, anyway, there was that. But speaking of prophecy, here's another one. Speaking of prophets and mystics, here's something I want to throw your way. This is from Zero Hedge today. Russian TV threatens European capitals with long-range missiles. Russia's state-run Rossiya, one TV channel, a segment on Sunday evening which appeared to be in direct reaction to the U.S. recently announcing it plans to place long-range missiles in Germany. The segment included the Russian pundits ominously warning that Russian missiles can strike European capitals. Quote, almost all European capitals will be under threat if our missiles are stationed in Kaliningrad, Berlin, Warsaw, all of the Baltic states, Paris, Bucharest, Prague, and of course the American bases in Germany. TV host and State Duma lawmaker Yevgeny Popov said. And I just want to say that 50 years ago, this was the crux of Baba Vanga's visions, and we brought her up quite a few times. So I mean, I'm at the point right now where as a part of my daily prayers and intentions, I just hope that Vladimir Putin has a greater plan to preserve mankind, a plan that is greater than the kamikazes at NATO's plan to flatten mankind. I don't know, and it's probably an unspoken reason here. God knows really what hung in the balance on Saturday afternoon. You think about the unspoken reason why we aren't all in full-fledged war yet. What if Trump being alive, just him being alive and being in the running alone, bought us time, saved us? What if Putin is holding out for as long as he possibly can for a chance to negotiate with a man who actually wants peace? What if? Everybody was always like, I wonder why Putin didn't take Ukraine when Trump was there. Well, Putin was probably waiting back knowing that Trump and him have the same enemies in common. And he was probably waiting. Maybe, at least a part of him was just like, let's see how far he digs in Ukraine. Let's see if he actually gets to the cesspool that is out there that we know is at our southern border. And then, of course, came impeachment number one. And the necessity of picking Joe Biden as the DNC nominee. So it's crazy. Like, what else hung in the balance? Just him being alive. It still makes most sense for me if they would trigger a war before the election, or before at least an inauguration, like between let's say Trump wins and there's no way that they can stop it. I can see there being a war trigger sometimes around Thanksgiving, so that it's a war that's inherited by inauguration day. But at that point, when you're president-elect, you can reach out diplomatically and say, hold the fort, hold off on everything, which is, of course, what they were doing in December of 2016, and that's when everybody started talking about Logan Act, this and that, even though that they were already in transition. So, and of course, that was Joe Biden's idea too. You remember that? Joe Biden was the one that floated the Logan Act to throw at Michael Flynn, and the FBI said, "Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, we can work with that." So there you go. We opened up a little bit of mystic stuff, and now let's just get into it because we have so much to sift through, and I want to get your thoughts and opinions on the record for this very important broadcast of a series of broadcasts in a very important week of our lives. Very much so. All right, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's...
to be able to get featured in this newsletter every time that we publish it. And here's what we're looking for. If you'd like a chance to be included in the future official newsletter, submit photos and stories below. We're looking for clear photos of you, either in your Quite Frankly merch or spending time with friends, family, or fellow Franklies. Photo of family vacations, traveling, or other important life events. Shots of Quite Frankly promo stickers placed or found in notable spots all over the world. Brief stories, keep the blurb around 7 to 10 sentences max about how you found the show and what it means to you. So it doesn't have to be about the show. You can also just say, hey, here's my family at the Grand Canyon. And we just wanted to say hello to all of our, the Franklies and Franciscans out there. That's all at the top. I'm going to put that in the chat rooms right now. We would love to have you guys submitting some stuff for that because we want you involved in these. And of course, that is another perk now of monthly sponsorship. That's who gets those, and away we go. All right. So, first things first. They are pushing this kid. This kid. It's the son of Sam. That's really what I'm taking away from this. Anybody ever saw the Sons of Sam? It was a great comparison today, and it articulates exactly what I wanted to say about the whole thing. Would-be Trump assassin Thomas Matthew Crooks relentlessly bullied by high school classmates in chilling new video. There is nothing chilling about this video. Nothing. Okay, it's not just the New York Post. New York Post, which is really scraping the bottom of the barrel for content these days. They were promoting sex toys earlier on today. I saw a tweet. But take a look at this video. Let's see here. Stop pulling my legs. Okay, for those of you in podcast land, this kid, he's sitting on he's texting at his desk. He has his legs crossed and he's wearing jeans. And someone next to him is grabbing the edge of the sleeve of his jeans and kind of just like yanking it around a little bit. Not even hard or anything. He's got a smile on his face. He's stop. The girl who is filming it, she's giggling through it. There is nothing malicious about this video. And everybody has been sharing it, saying that he's being relentlessly bullied. What are you talking about? Are you trying to build a motive? Is this the villain origin story? I don't get it. So it's nuts because something's trying to be they're trying to build some kind of a profile here because motive. You'd think that would be self-explanatory, but really, is it? They're desperate for motive. There's no social media that we know of, no manifesto that usually pops up. The FBI still hasn't even been able to apparently access his phone. And all we have is a BlackRock commercial and these two short videos from what seems to be a high school somewhere. The first one was him making some comments about the size of his genitals, which is just, to me, normal high school nonsense. As all we did was talk about the size of our genitals back in high school. So I'm like, what is this? But damn the information. Damn the information that is coming out, my friends. Today was mammoth. Mammoth. Here is the Daily Mail, which made everybody do a double take this morning. Secret Service director gives bizarre reason why an agent wasn't on the only roof. The only roof in the area where the gunman Thomas Matthew Crooks opened fire on Trump as she rejects the call to resign. Of course she won't, because there's no accountability. Okay? You think a person like this, think a woman like that's going to take accountability for anything, especially when she knows who she's down with, who she's probably running cover for? She did something she was ordered to do. Okay? Anyway, here's what it comes down to. That building in particular has a sloped roof. This is the quote from her. That building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point. And so, there's a safety factor that would be considered there that we wouldn't want to put somebody on a sloped roof, she told ABC in an interview on Tuesday. And so, the decision was made to secure the building from the inside. So again, just remember the sloped roof. The people who were firing across had a visual of that roof. They were on a sloped roof as well. So sloped roofs were fine for other people, but not to secure the only other standing structure in the area. The most obvious structure in the area. And then to fix that and to finish that sentence by that statement by saying, and so the decision was made to secure the building from the inside. They were inside. He was literally on top of them. He was crawling on a building that was occupied by Secret Service or whoever was standing in for them. He was on top of them. Sean Davis was on fire today. Here, take a listen to this. Or take a look at this. Secret Service had snipers inside the building the assassin used. They took pictures of him. They watched him pull out a rangefinder to get his exact distance to Trump. They radioed the Secret Service command post about the assassin. They all knew he was there. Here's from Olivia Rinaldi. One of the snipers inside saw Crooks outside of the rooftop observing the building and then disappeared, according to local law enforcement. Then Crooks came back, sat down, and was looking on his phone. And at that one point, the snipers took a picture of him. Then Crooks took out a rangefinder, and the sniper radioed to the command post. Crooks this is like in the Army now over here. Crooks disappeared again, and then came back a third time with a backpack. The snipers called in with information that he had a backpack and said he was walking toward the back of the building. I mean, that's just nuts. Now, I don't know what we get from here on in on this kid. I don't know what we get. If there's a manifesto that's unearthed, I mean, anything can change, I suppose. But he seems like a flushable white patsy to me. And there's already quite a few people who have been developing and with not insignificant evidence. I just wasn't ready to put it on the air here tonight because I just wanted to see where it all goes. But there's been quite a few people who have attested to there being a second shooter. And I was asking about that. Depending on where Donald Trump was and where the people, the victims, the casualties in the crowd were, have we been able to ascertain whether or not the trajectory of the bullets all came from the same point, the point of origin? Or are there two trajectories? Is there something else going on there? That would be impossible for one person to do it. I have not seen anything definitive yet, but I think that there are people out there who are just at least double checking on that, because this kid was put out there to hung out to dry. And of course, the bigger question about him is what happened. What happened from the moment from the BlackRock commercial 2 years ago to today, to Saturday? What happened in your life? What interventions were made? What was going on? So I don't know. And the FBI, of course, they're on the case. So would it really surprise you at home if that ends up being another Las Vegas stalemate, where after a year they just say, we don't know what happened. It's a mystery. but he was a registered Republican. So I guess that's good enough, right? So they can do it. You know, they can do it to really any case. At this point, any case. Because half of the country is always at odds with the other half. Or at least that's what it feels like. You know, with Las Vegas, one half of the country only cared about gun control narratives and blaming it on bump stocks. And of course, Ellen DeGeneres being able to interview the security guard that disappeared and then came back after he was debriefed or whatever the hell happened. And then the other half of the country, or I would say the other third of the country that was paying attention to it, they actually wanted to know what the hell happened. And we were called conspiracy theorists for that. But that's usually what it comes down to. Now, similar things are happening right now with this, and it's only 3 days in. Soon it's going to be, get over it. Just like with JFK, get over it already. Similar things are happening right now with the attempt on Saturday. I mean, we all we really want to know is really what happened. And your average Democrat, and this is what the average is. The average Democrat is waffling between wishing that the bullet killed Trump and actually denying that he was shot at all. At least that's what's on display. I mean, I've seen that he was using blood packets, that he had something in his hand and he splashed it on his ear. I saw that it was not a bullet that hit that created the flesh wound on the side of his head, but it was a teleprompter. There was glass from a teleprompter that was shattered, which is incredible when you even hear that too, because the teleprompter theory, the person is essentially saying, sure, someone shot at him, but the glass debris from the teleprompter hit him, not a bullet. Don't be dramatic. As if Donald Trump walked away, and let's just say that he walked away without a scratch that day. Let's say that he did not bleed one drop of his own blood. Okay, let's say that happened. The bullets were fired in his direction. Do they not count? When somebody fires at least three bullets in your direction, in your general vicinity, were the people who were injured and killed behind him just props? I mean, and here I am thinking that $1 billion was the going rate for denying any aspect of a deadly event these days. But everybody's having a go at this one. Everybody. Because, of course, they don't want to have any responsibility. And it's really crazy. It's really crazy when you see, I remember during the lockdowns, we said, when you take propaganda and you mix it with hypochondria, that's a dangerous combination, as we saw, because they turned everybody into hypochondriacs. All right. And if you were already a hypochondriac, it got doubly as bad. But then you had this, and I'm saying we're looking at people who are literally bloodthirsty. There is a bloodlust that is combined with just complete unaccountability. Well, I think that's even worse. I really think it's even worse. Anyway, here's something for you. CNN interviewed former U.S. Army sniper, now turned House Rep, Corey Mills. Okay, he was a U.S. Army member of the 82nd Airborne Joint Special Operations Command, and he was on with CNN, and you have to watch the woman that is hosting this. She becomes increasingly, this is an 8-minute clip. We'll go till about 4 minutes, because just watch her, increasingly uncomfortable the further he pushes for an investigation in order to explain the inexplicable. This is it. You watch him. Just you watch this thing develop or listen to it. You can see, you can actually hear the discomfort growing in the audio.
I look at all of these things, and I look at different videos where an assailant will pull a firearm on a law enforcement officer, and the first thing they do is they immediately pull and draw and mitigate the threat and the risk. I ask why the local law enforcement officer did not do so. The other thing is that when you set up an advanced team, I keep hearing this about the perimeter elements. Yeah. The perimeter is actually established by your threats that are in the area. So if I don't have any threats outside of 100 yards, okay, fine, I can cordon off a certain area. But if I have a building 160 yards perfectly adjacent to the stage, That's an obvious threat, especially with an elevated position that has overwatch. That's a sniper's paradise. And, we talk about Eagle's Nest. You also have, which no one talks about, but the water tower.
So what I'm hearing from you is it's not a failure on the ground for sure, but 100%. Also a failure in advance?
I think it's a failure in advance. I think it's a failure to have the counter snipers to be able to establish their range fin and their sketch maps.
I also heard we've also learned that local snipers were stationed inside that building. At the time.
I haven't heard that piece of it yet, but that doesn't necessarily make sense unless they were actually in a window which was backed off, because a lot of times you'll get yourself in there. Sometimes you expose your rifle in a way to try and do a force protection or a show of force that actually stops things. Others are actually more tactical where they'll sit back a little bit, but a sniper for the law enforcement is only trained to shoot about 75 yards, unlike your counter sniper teams that are on so. But here's my problem. In having done this for so long, they always say the adage of ignorance is bliss, and I think that's true. I've done thousands of advances. I've done thousands of counter sniper operations with our teams in Iraq and Afghanistan, etc. The amount of negligence, the amount of mistakes that was made here, I have a very difficult time not leaning myself towards this was intentional as opposed to fecklessness.
But wait, talk to me about that.
Wait, talk to me about that. This is when things start getting a little bit tricky for Blondie over here, for Goldilocks.
I actually heard you say this right the day after, which I wanted to ask you about. What do you mean intentional?
He's about to tell you.
I mean an intentional failure on the part of...
No, I wouldn't say an intentional failure on the part of, but I got to just, I sit here and I scratch my head. You don't want to be the conspiracist. You don't want to be the person.
I'm telling you, because that's what it's leaning towards.
No, I know. And that's the issue, is that you walk this fine balance of, you're not trying to be a conspiracist, but you look at it and you go, how could this have gone so...
But it's one thing if someone on the street says it. It's not. You, Corn Mills, member of Congress, former sniper, you saying it. It makes my eyebrows go up. When you say you're walking the line on this, intentional what?
It almost seems to me, and I think that an investigation is necessary at this point within Congress, not just the FBI, not just others. I look back at it and I'm thinking, all right, for an individual, if you looked at the escalations and how they are trying to approach him, let's just say that it was like, okay, first we want to censor and silence you, then we want to indict and imprison you. Now we're attempting to kill you and take you off the stage.
Let's slow down.
Please.
I'm hearing two things from you. I don't want to jump ahead of things, but I'm also hearing you jumping ahead of things.
Well, actually, I'm just looking at all the different possible capabilities. One of the things as a military member, one of the things as a person who's run in the special operations communities before, one of the people who's actually done this is that you look at all potential analysis, right?
Donald Trump and his team have said,
No, I agree.
Dial it back. Do not blame this on Joe Biden.
Oh, well, actually, I didn't say Joe Biden.
He didn't say,
Who's the they then? Let's be very specific.
Well, that's what the investigation has to do. Was it local law enforcement that had made the mistakes, or was there something to it? Was there other types of things that we need to be analyzing or looking at and providing analysis? My point is that when something's so significant, you're talking about something that hasn't happened in decades, right?
I totally...
But my point is this. From a perspective of someone who's actually conducted these are not difficult advances. This is not like I'm putting together a stage placement and a tight shot. This is about looking at your surroundings. What is my green, yellow, and red route, which is your routes out in case? What is my actual elements that I need to be looking at as far as mitigating threats or risks or increased levels? Where's my range fan for the sniper that says, okay, here's my 100, my 200, my sketch. Here's an area where someone could shoot. Because here's my thing.
So you're
Let's
saying...
just say it's a Royce element.
You are saying this is...
He's trying to tell you what he's saying. But of course, it's not good enough because he's coming from a standpoint of incredible amounts of experience that says for a setting like this at that rally in Butler on Saturday, the chances for this to have been bungled it requires an investigation. It requires an investigation. And of course, at that point, we start going to a place. That's where the media curiosity completely evaporates. You should see where people are people on the left, like the amoeba-brained paramecium types on Twitter, like that Brooklyn dad guy. You should see what he's talking about. Like I can't believe that GETTR didn't ask Donald Trump to remove the mattress-sized bandage on his ear last night. Why didn't he ask him about how many stitches and this and that? Like, they really think that there is some sort of an overblown Like this was like that's where you need to investigate. That the bullets weren't real, that this was set up by Trump in some way to capture a martyrdom momentum or whatever the fuck it is. Meanwhile, this is the gaping hole in the whole thing. But it's not gaping to them because the kid was a loner with an AR-15 who's a registered Republican, case closed. And Corey Mills, he has found the back wall of the Truman Show. He has found the back wall. You're not going any further with her. But but as far as someone like Sean Davis at the Federalist, I'm going to just read you. He just went right for it. He laid it all out on the line today, and I really appreciate it because I'm with him. Here's what he said earlier on this afternoon. Sean Davis says, nobody wants to hear this because of the implications, but oh well, Joe Biden's security regime deliberately and with malice, aforethought, created the conditions that led to an assassin shooting Donald Trump in the head. It is by the grace of God that he lived and our nation is not currently in the midst of a violent civil war. They deliberately starved Trump's security team of the resources it needed, and they did it repeatedly over many weeks and months. With Trump's security detail understaffed, under-resourced, and stretched to its limits, Biden's security regime diverted even more resources to a hastily planned Jill Biden event that just happened to be in the area. Biden's security regime then ordered the most obvious assassination perch in the entire area to remain outside of the main security perimeter. Furthermore, Biden's Secret Service director ordered law enforcement and counter snipers off the roof that the assassin used because it had a slope. If that weren't enough, Biden's security regime also refused to block the line of sight from the assassin's perch at Trump's location. When law enforcement radioed in a suspicious person using a laser rangefinder at the building and even took photos of him, nothing was done to detain the assassin. The assassin was so obviously a threat that bystanders at the event begged the law enforcement to stop him, but nothing happened. And even as snipers on the roof near Trump saw a gunman on the roof, Biden's security regime refused to have agents immediately surround Trump and remove him from the stage to protect him from being shot. Given the lies and nonsense from both of Biden's DHS secretary and his Secret Service director, it's increasingly difficult to believe this was just a series of independent mistakes. In contrast, when you look at the entire picture, what you see better resembles a deliberate plan to make Trump vulnerable, but to appear at first glance to be just a couple of innocent mistakes. And when you add in how little information we've been given about the actual shooter, apparently the only person on earth not on the internet, you begin to wonder if maybe a group of people at a different three-letter agency might have been working on a parallel track to find and encourage people to take action against Trump at the very same time that he was kept vulnerable by Biden's regime. We know this happens because the FBI did it with Gretchen Whitmer. It recruited and urged disturbed individuals to buy weapons and put together a plan to kidnap her. In that case, the FBI wanted a story it could use to slime right-wingers, so it created the story itself. What happens when an agency like that, or maybe even another three-letter agency, decides instead it's had enough of Trump? Some former FBI employees might even call it an insurance policy. So who's the shooter talking to in the hours, days, and weeks leading up to the event? Who was he meeting with? Did anyone suggest or nudge or urge him to go to the Trump rally in Butler? Did anyone suggest or point out to him that the building he eventually used? Was he told at any time not to worry about security? Great questions. Many of them came up over the course of last night naturally. The FBI told us most immediately that while it couldn't open the assassin's phone, it knew he acted alone. Kind of strange when you think about it. They told us almost immediately that they identified him by DNA, despite him having no criminal record. They also said that they found explosives in his car. Why didn't they just identify him by his plates or registration or next of kin? That's pretty weird, too. At some point, you just have to say, enough with the lies. We saw what they did with the Russia hoax. We saw the Kavanaugh hoax. We saw the COVID origin hoax. We saw the Ukraine hoax, the stolen election, the J6 op, and then the armed Mar-a-Lago raid and the myriad of illegal cases against Trump. They called him Hitler. They said he was an existential threat. They said he would destroy democracy. They said that he was the most dangerous person on earth and then denied him security. They kept the rooftop open. They watched the shooter and did nothing. They kept Trump on the stage, and they didn't do a damn thing until after he had been shot in the head. Are we supposed to believe that it was all an innocent oopsie? I'll say one, and I'm going to just say it again because I mentioned it last night. I was talking about it with Dave today on the X22 report, which comes out on Friday or Saturday, whenever. I cannot help but think, I know they call it Biden's security regime, but again, how significant and influential a person, how impactful a presence is Joe Biden. Okay? Forget about what they're telling you on television, how he's just so probing with his questions. Mayorkas and everybody else, they use the same damn lines. He's very probing, and he loves probing. We all get probed every day. And, but you know that he's not a very impactful presence over there. So to say his regime and like to try to bring him into the area of blame, I am really kind of, I hold myself back from that. Because I just really believe that there is a shadow government behind everything. There is just a shadow organization of people that is doing all the real grunt work behind all the people who are on the company websites with all of the publicly available bios. And when it comes to Joe Biden, I mean, maybe some other president might have been involved in some of that stuff. Perhaps. Maybe some other incumbent would have been a little bit more hands-on. Or maybe they would have been a little bit more hands-off for plausible deniability. We know that Barack Obama was pretty hands-on when he was speaking to Elizabeth Carlisle and all their secret emails and shit like that. But like I was saying last night when I said today, too, I can't help but think that this was supposed to, among other things, to set off a cascade effect that would eliminate both Trump and eventually Biden. Say that Biden was in on this. I think that Trump and Biden actually, both of their lives were saved for a little while. I really do think so. I don't know. I don't know why. I have no evidence, but it's just you look at how they obviously the script has changed on Biden. They want him gone. They were holding back PAC money. They're kind of scrambling. They're market testing certain names here and there. What's Kamala doing? You know, who's meeting where? There's a lot of shit coming out. And there's a lot of infighting over there with the factions. So he's a guy that obviously is causing a lot of problems going into the next 4 months for them that they would like to clean up. Donald Trump is another set of problems for a whole other elevated group of reasons that if he were gone, just gone, then it might make the prospect of Joe Biden a little bit easier. But also, people would suspect it too much. Get rid of them both. Have the entire country melt down. In fact, what if both candidates were offed within 4 months of the election? Would that be a reason to postpone the election? Well, I mean, I don't know. Listen, this is baseless. Absolutely baseless. I have nothing to put into it. But this is just what occupies my thoughts sometimes. I think that's a pretty unbiased way of thinking. That this was supposed to cascade from Trump to create some sort of a public motive for why Biden would be retaliated against, that there would be a reciprocation, a deadly reciprocation. That's just where my mind goes. And who knows what has changed ever since Saturday. Robert Phoenix was on Ground Zero last night, our buddy Robert Phoenix. He was talking with Clyde Lewis about this. Our other friend, Don Jeffries, was on with Clyde last night. I was like, oh, two friends of ours. And Robert Phoenix, he said that he thinks that Trump was actually supposed to die on Saturday in some sort of a karmic way. And avoiding that actually split and shifted the timelines. So that's interesting that we're on a whole new timeline. That is interesting. That in a parallel universe somewhere, Trump is dead. Well, I'd have to say that I guess an assassination is like a fork in the road for any nation. You can't tell me that life would not have been different if JFK were to have survived anything that was attempted against him in 1963 and actually vanquished the national security state, which was already far too powerful back then. It was already too powerful for Eisenhower when he left. But that's what Sean Davis had to say. And you want to talk about other things that are coming out, people are talking about. Like there is what is this, Wise Guys, Johnny Tobacco put this out on Twitter, and a few other people were discussing it too. And I saw this in the Gilded before. Breaking. Who knew the hit was coming? Really interesting because I never even thought about wondering of the financial implications of this. Who knew the hit was coming? DJT shorts. So I guess that is Truth Social and Donald John Trump stocks and all that. Shorts skyrocketed the week before the hit. Follow the shorts. DJT shorts went from 7 million to 15 million from July 1st to the 12th. They thought, whoever they are, thought Monday morning Trump would be dead. Who shorted the millions of shares the week before the hit job? Who was it? Robert Barnes believes that everybody at the that a lot of people at the RNC believe that he would have already been dead. Robert Barnes put that out there publicly today. I'm sure Rich has some sort of gut feeling about that. I'm sure everybody does. That Donald Trump was there in the middle of that that convention last night around a lot of people who were kind of like, "Good evening, sir. Good to see you." I mean, dude, what the hell? Seriously, what the hell? All right, so 914-200-0269. I want you to call in 914-200-0269. We got about 12 minutes left in the first half. And then we have the second half, which is going to be mostly your calls. I've got emails. I've got a couple other things. I want to go over all the details of the Andrew Jackson attempted assassination, because people have always drawn comparison between Donald Trump and Andrew Jackson when he showed up in 2017 and put his portrait up in the Oval Office and all that stuff. There's another one. There's another comparison off the bat now. All right, so 914-200-0269. Who's going to be the first one to call in and tell me what they have to say? Tell me what's on their mind. Jay Britt says, "Damn, Stanjic, make us laugh already." JK, great info. Thanks, Frank. I wish I can juggle for you right now. Hey, Zoso, dude, how you feeling, Zoso?
How are you doing, my brother?
I'm all right. Considering everything. It's like a little bit of a Columbo night.
It is, yeah. You know, my man, I'm going to be a little off topic. I just wanted to tell you what a pleasure it was to hang out with you and all of the Franklies out in the chat. I had the greatest time. When I left that night, dude, I got like another 200 freaking subscribers. I mean, your people are just a freaking best. But, dude, thank you kindly for you're always most gracious host. I had a great time hanging out with you.
Well, I can't wait for next year, and I wish that it wasn't as physically taxing as it is to do what you do every summer, because it would be great to have you roll through more than once a year. But it was great to have you, and I'm glad that more people are taking a look at you, and hopefully that has unlocked some streaming abilities for you now.
Dude, I mean, it's a good thing. You know, I just spent 3 fantastic days with my mom. It was awesome. I am now back on the road and trying to find my way home. I'm deep in Georgia right now with a good buddy, Uncle Krusty, and going to be heading for home. But it has been a fantastic trip so far. And thanks to all the Franklies out there who have, dude, some people have really helped me out. It's been amazing. Well,
thanks for the update from the road, Zoso. It was great to have you again, and safe travels, please.
Thanks, my brother. Thank you kindly.
Take care. That was nice to hear from him. 914-200-0269. Laura G says, "I love your shirt, Frank." I love it too. But it faded way too quick. I told the guys over there at Sunday Mass, that's the name of that's the name of the clothing company. It's called Sunday Mass, and it kind of has this, you know, this Christian imagery kind of mixed up with weightlifting vibe. Got a couple of, sweatpants. I got this Consequences shirt of Jesus beating the shit out of the money changers. But this is after, I don't know, I got this a few months ago. And it already started looking like this after a couple of washes. I said, dude, this was a really nice bold red. So I got to get in touch with them and see if they can if they change the screen print up or whatever and get a new one. Let's take a call from Hawaii. I think 808. Is that you?
Yeah. Hey, Frank.
How are you? Go ahead.
Thanks. So a few things that I haven't really seen a whole lot of coverage of, but when the shot was taken on Trump, if you pan down, there's a woman in a black hat with black glasses.
Yeah.
That's low to the left, and right before he gets shot, it looks like she gives a signal, and she sits down, and then she looks in the direction of the shooter right as Trump gets shot.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
Yes. We were talking about. I think we might have thrown it up on the screen on Saturday night when I did that special broadcast. And,
okay, you did. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
the other.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, keep. I'll comment afterward.
Okay, so the other thing I was going to mention, when DEI Becky was fumbling with her pistol, trying to get it back in the holster.
Yes.
At the SUV. Did you guys notice the police officer leveling a rifle at the SUV?
No.
At that time.
No, I didn't.
Okay, look at that footage again. You can clearly see there's a guy in fatigues. He looks like he's a SWAT guy. And he literally, it's right as Trump is getting into the SUV. And it's kind of almost, you remember the Lee Harvey Oswald thing where, they took out, they took him out, Anyway. So
Jack Ruby?
Look at that. Yeah, Jack Ruby when everything was chaotic. Also with Bobby Kennedy when they took him out and there was like another guy dressed as a cop. That was kind of a, it's like a tactic, like a last ditch.
Well,
tactic. Just look at that footage.
I'll take a look at it. Well, thank you for the call. I mean, there's when you have that kind of a thing start to unfold. And so many camera angles to see it from, plus everybody filming things. You're at a rally, everybody's trying to get a little bit of, something to bring home as a memory. You start analyzing every last person, and when you put a person into an extraordinary circumstance, sometimes you do weird things. There is also that. You, me. Sometimes we react ways that we don't expect we're going to react. Sometimes we're way calmer than we think that we ever would be, that it might be suspicious as if we knew exactly what was going to happen. Sometimes shock just overtakes you quicker. Maybe other times people will panic. They'll drop. The instincts just do weird things. Based on what we know about what was going on that roof, I don't think he needed a girl in glasses to give him a signal. I don't know the necessity for a signal. Some might, touch chest. Now it's time to do it. I mean, it just didn't seem like that is even necessary. 406, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Oh, hi.
Hey, who's this?
Hi, this is Catherine.
Welcome, Catherine. Just turn off the stream in the background.
Okay, I'm going to mute it.
Yes, please.
Okay, good. All right, I wasn't sure who I was talking to. I'm sorry.
It's me. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Catherine. I'm calling because I had a question for him, and it's kind of off the wall, but it just seems kind of weird that, like, all of these things that people are picking up on are just so obvious that to me looks a little suspicious.
Oh, what things? Like what things?
Well, like the shooting, like the leaving the roof open.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm a nobody. I mean, all you gotta do is read a spy novel, and you know that that's something that they wouldn't do. The ladder, people seeing him running around. I mean, just everything about it is just like it almost feels like we're either being punked, or which I know we're not. But I'm just saying, it just seems. Something about that just doesn't smell right because it's just so freaking obvious.
Well, Catherine,
all the stuff that they did wrong.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing, Catherine, and thank you for the call. The one thing I will say is that you're not hearing anybody really, I mean, I'm sure somebody is, but you're not really hearing a lot of, well, this is clearly a distraction. No, again, this was a happening and something that did not go according to plan. The question is, whose plan? And what part of the plan was it? You know, perhaps the elimination of Trump wasn't even the end game. Like I said before, what if that was supposed to trigger events? I mean, think about it. Everybody always says if Donald Trump goes down, there's going to be civil war. It's just something that everybody says, even though we discussed what would civil war look like in the 21st century anyway. There's no Mason-Dixon line. It's not North versus South. It's not blue versus gray. There's not any one defining issue. It's just going to be urban warfare with a touch of South Africa and Rwanda, and it's just going to be regional and messy and hard to decipher anything, and very, very high tech, especially when the state gets involved. And the propaganda. I mean, they already say that the first casualty of war is the truth. I mean, we've already been. It hasn't been a shooting war very much, but whatever the hell the rage, the response would be from having somebody like Donald Trump taken out, that would only be a part of what I would have to imagine they were going that would be spun into a reason to not have an election. If the entire country was in upheaval, if people feel completely disenfranchised now that the person that they were going to vote for, in many cases, are people who have a lot of great affection and love of Donald Trump. I mean, there'll probably be several states in protests, rebellion. What would that do for turnout? Would people go out there? What kind of protests would they? I mean, there would be so much. That in itself might be the thing that they needed to say. Let's pause the election here. Let's pause this election, or something. And that still could just be one more phase in some other plan. So yeah, it's worth considering. 949, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Oh my God, I'm on.
Yes. Who's this?
This is Dominic. Hold on, let me pause this. Dude, you're awesome.
What's going on? What's going on, Dom? It's good to have you on.
I had something. Oh wait, let me take off speaker. I know you.
You sound better.
There we go.
There you go.
Long time listener, first time caller. Finally got the balls to do it with the story. Somewhat, I think you'd enjoy.
Okay.
Little thing. So recently, I had a visit from the FBI. Okay, and my son had answered the door. I was out with my daughter, and I get a text saying, "Hey, don't come home." And he goes, "I'm like, why?" He's like, "FBI came here." I'm like, "Yeah, right, you're bullshit." And he's like, "No, for real." So I get home, I look at the cameras, and there's a lady and a guy dressed up normal, don't look like FBI agents. They don't leave a card or anything. They keep calling, they keep asking for me, like for 2 weeks. We're trying to figure this out. And apparently they're such idiots. They thought my son was me because he had been getting into some like trouble and stuff like online, and the whole time they thought I was him, and they want to just talk to him to make sure he's on the straight and narrow.
What was he doing?
And I'm like, he had been talking to some what is it? He was on, oh my God, I'm an idiot. Telegram. It ended up being like some like white pride, like nationalist, like group or whatever, and like
he was joining he joins white nationalist groups.
He wasn't joining it. They were trying to get him to like join. He's 14 years old, dude, and these are like 21, 22-year-old,
okay,
like men. So yeah, they were trying to get him to join this group and shit, but they thought the FBI agents were so stupid. They thought I was him, So they couldn't get that thing right. They didn't know what he was doing.
Well, when they finally figured out that you were you and he was him, then what? What did they say? Hey, don't be a white nationalist, kid, and we're watching you. What?
Pretty much. Well, we're supposed. My wife is going to go take him down to talk to them because they want to have a talk about how what he's looking at, and he shouldn't be going down that path and everything. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know. Yeah, that sounds very odd too. I mean, obviously, that's more of a parental thing. You find out that whatever somebody's looking at, I mean, that's more of a at home discussion if you're concerned about what they're accessing. But unless he was actually pledging his services to some kind of an operation, I don't know what the hell the FBI is doing over there. But then again, maybe I don't know the full story. But that's your FBI story. What else you got for us?
Not much, man. I mean, like, I can update you after he goes and
let me
meets
know
up with them, because I definitely want to give him some stuff to, especially now after this. Like, hey, what are you doing about Trump, since you're looking into this?
Well, I would say the first thing is first, dude. Don't send him in there just with your wife. You send him in there with a lawyer.
I was thinking about that.
Don't think about it. He should never talk to the police or anybody without a lawyer talking for you. And just because if you're already confident that nothing happened, but this is just really about being exposed to materials that the government thinks might be troublesome. I mean, I don't know. If we're not talking about actual actions or whatever the hell it is, if you're going to go talk to the feds, you better have a lawyer with you. So that's what I would say. And thanks for the call, man. Keep me updated with what happens, all right?
Definitely, dude. Thank you, man. Hey, you're awesome. Keep the show going. We're behind you.
Well,
every day.
Thank you.
We love you, man.
Send my best to the whole family and be good. Yeah, get yourself a... It's okay. That's odd. Well, let me see here. One more. You know what? No, let's take a really quick break. Really, really tiny break. 90 seconds. We'll be right back. And ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere, because I have this Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski. They respond to being taken off the air on Sunday, obviously because they're a major liability. And the last thing MSNBC probably wanted was for them to not be a thorn in their side with their Roger Rabbit levels of self-control just for one day, and they're upset about it. And so I gotta watch that. There's a couple other things I think you guys would like, and plenty of time for calls. I see Aubrey, Mateus, whole bunch of other people, Neil, everybody calling in. Melissa, I see all the calls. Do not give up on me. You'll be on the air before you know it. We'll be right back. Hey, want to start your day fresh and stimulate your taste buds at the same time? Try the Quite Frankly Elevation Blend Coffee, brought to you by the Coffee Revolution in Davenport, Iowa. An uplifting mix of Ethiopian, Mexican, and Peruvian estate beans and roasted to first crack. Guaranteed to have you coming back for more. And as if you needed more reason to enjoy a fresh pot, did you know that healthy consumption of caffeine has been linked with longevity, lower risk of cardiovascular disease, boosts progesterone, increases in thyroid function, increases in metabolism, mood, and even testosterone after working out? And here's some free advice. Upon waking, drink at least 12 ounces of water with some sea salt. This will leave you hydrated and energized, and then an hour later, have your first cup of Quite Frankly Elevation Blend Coffee. You will feel like moving mountains and making babies. So choose a smooth, organic light roast with my stupid face on the bag to inject some life into your daily routine. Quite Frankly Elevation Blend Coffee is linked at the affiliates page on quitefrankly.tv.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out to press the like button.
Hey.
Thank you.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
Quite frankly.
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 Quite frankly. frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly. Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly, guys.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
So everybody watch. Quite frankly. With Frank.
Dare you.
Okay. All right, so we're back. Let's get to some super chats while you get your phone, the phones warmed up again. We got some people already calling in. Good, just stay consistent with me. I'm gonna just get through these so we don't fall behind. Thank you, Stowstube. Says great evening, Frank and Franklies. I know it's current events heavy week. It's gonna alter some things. It's gonna alter some paths. We're on a different path right now, no doubt about it. Is it a good one? Or are we right on track? Let's see. Jay Semo says, this is on the Rumble Rants. Thank you for everybody that's watching on Rumble. It's been both YouTube and Rumble and Pilled across the board. It's been amazing viewership everywhere. I love to see it grow like that, and I'm very happy for it. And it's going to feel even better once we get back to a little bit of normalcy and we can have a couple of human interest nights and some other things. I've some great guests that we're researching right now. Jay Semo says, excellent show. Thanks. I wonder what the next chess move is. It's getting crazy. Definitely. Rubino82 says, CNN's coverage of Trump rallies have, in my experience, been low-resolution feeds. I wonder if it was high-resolution on Saturday. That's a question. Let's see. Over on pilled.net, let's see those gold pills. Let's see what all of our wonderful friends over there are talking about. Up to the top, Sean Joe gives us a few cookies. Oil Man 94. Whole sleeve of it. Oreos all around. Sean Joe gifted a 1-month bronze tier subscription. Hey, let me just say that again. Anybody out there who would really love to sponsor the show and be a part of the Sunday stream, you get so much, more and more exclusive content. It's just incredible. Sunday streams, the book club, which is starting up on Mondays in August, which actually might go into the first week of September because Neverending Story is about 450 pages, and I think that reading about 89 a week would be a lot easier for us to digest and get into a little bit more detail. I was talking about that with Lindsay Sharman the other day. But we have book club coming up in August. We have the Sunday streams that are always on for you guys and gals. There's the messaging, you guys, priority messaging wherever the hell it is. But then also there is the newsletter that is coming out in August that is just for monthly subscribers, and that is really exciting. And on pilled.net, that is the only place I know of that people are constantly just buying 1-month subscriptions and just gifting them to anybody who claims them in the chat room. It says, so if you wanted to test drive some of this great exclusive content, then watch a little bit more often over there on pilled.net and claim some of those subscriptions whenever people throw them around, because you may just want to keep it going. All right. Thank you, Fool Nerd. Just claimed a 1-month subscription. There you go. PC Native and Fool Nerd are now going to be on for the next month of exclusives. Paulie9363, thank you. Styrofoam Undercover, or Styrofoam Underwear, said after the failed assass, the deep state only has one move left: arm the immigrants and have them cause mass chaos. If that's really the only move they have left, it's not going to go well. It's not going to go well. Let's take 1 or 2 calls, and then we're off to some of these media bits. Michael or Michelle, who's this?
Michael or Michelle? Negative, brother.
Who?
We haven't seen each other in a while. It's Paulie Booch.
Oh, Paulie, what's going on? I don't know. It says Michelle.
Oh, that's my wife.
Oh, okay.
She owns everything. Everything's in her name.
See, they don't get mad at me. Jeez. How's everything
What's
been?
up, dude? How you been?
Oh, it's good. Everybody, Paulie Booch over here. I got to meet Paulie and his wonderful daughters over at Playland in, what was it? Was it 2020? Was it the rainy day?
Yeah, it was the Trump rally.
Trump rally. in Rye.
Dude, it was so great. I was pulling up, and you're right out front. I'm like, oh, it's Frank right there.
Yeah, me and Matt. You got to hang out. It was
I got to meet Matt. Wow,
I know.
Dude's got a big back, man.
It was a rainy day, right?
It was a rainy day. My daughters hung out. They suffered right through it. They were like, whatever Dad's doing, we're doing. So they were pretty cool about it.
Well, it's great to have you call in. It's good to hear your voice. So what's on your mind?
Yeah, just missed you, buddy. First of all, I got to tell you, this past weekend's really, wow. I talk about something that you lived through. Like, where were you? You know, one of those JFK moments. Like, where were you when you heard? I don't know, man. Like, I go back and forth. Like, so I have a handful of podcasts I listen to. You, Crowder, and Bongino, like my solids, right? And I'm listening to Dan, and he seems to like make it out like it's incompetence. Like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, that's too much.
It's too much.
Too much failure. You know what I mean? Like, a cop was on the roof, then he jumped down, and like 20 fucking minutes. 20 minutes. Like, even Dan said, he's like, why was Trump still on the stage?
I know.
Like, you get him off.
I know. I mean,
dude,
that's the whole thing. Like, once that message even gets out over the radio, until, you know, even if you're scrambling, the one thing you do is you radio down to the team that is over there by the stage, and you just make sure that the man of the hour is whoever the hell it is. At any event like this, you just make sure that if they're on stage, they get off, and if they're not on stage, they don't get on. I mean, there's so many risk mitigation the things that just seem common sense to me. I mean, all people like you and I have are the movies and the testimony of people who actually, you know, work these jobs. And we're not talking about anything space age. We're talking about rudimentary stuff.
Yeah, dude, like nothing. Like, if Anthony was doing an event somewhere and you were in charge of security, that roof would have been taken care of, right?
Oh yeah, well,
like we're just laymen. Like we're just people.
I would
we
be
get up and
grateful.
go to our jobs every fucking day. Like, I'm not thinking about like tactical maneuvers and whatnot, but like, dear God, like, first thing I said, 140 yards. I could throw a fucking rock that far.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. It really is. It's something that's serious, and it like you said. If I was working security for anything, say, hey, Frank, listen, I know you don't really know what you're doing, but we need a security guy. Can you come work it? And I showed up to that field, and I saw that the only real standing structure around there was, I'd be like, oh, thank God. All right, well, obviously, let's cover that roof. And,
well, that's a clear one.
Anyway.
Hey, Matt, get up on the roof.
Yeah. Get up there, Matt. Human shield time. So, anyway.
Matt, go kill people.
That's it. Well, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things that make you, that really, I don't know, it's startling. It really is, Paul. And I hope that you and the family are well, and you call in more often, because it's gonna be one of those years, and this autumn is gonna be something else.
We're good, buddy. We're good. The girls are getting big, fucking mouthy. Sophia graduated high school. Francesca's 15. Really, she's literally a spitting image of me, man. Like, totally defiant in every way of everything. So I pass that on to her. What am I to do?
I don't know.
Anyway, hope the family's doing well, buddy.
Thank you.
And hey, listen, anything in the Rye Playland area, just I'm going to be in contact with you. Like, let's just get together and do a little, sideshow podcast.
You got it, man. We'll go get a daiquiri at the Tiki Bar.
Fuck yeah, I'll bring a smoker, man. We'll start doing meat early and 6 a.m. in the morning, bro.
That's what I'm liking. All right, man. I'll talk to you soon. All the best to the girls.
You too, buddy. Be good.
Right, take care. All right, let's go to Melissa 240. Is that you?
It is.
Okay, but it's not Melissa. Hello, 240.
No, this is Keith.
Okay. Hello, Keith. Another one whose wife owns everything?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Keith, go ahead.
All right. Well, do I get to talk to Frank?
Yeah, let me go get him. Hold on.
Thank you, man.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Well, it's not exactly Melissa. Another one of those that have a wife's name on the phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keith, you hear me?
Hey, yeah, man, I do, man. Hey, look, I think this all started back in 2015, man, when Trump was running for president, and he wanted to stir shit up. And by the way, I'm a longtime listener. I'm calling you from Myrtle Beach, dude. So
Nice.
You need to come down and see us, man.
I would love to. I would love to. Yeah. It's been 2 years, and I really want to get down there. Maybe next summer we'll take another trip. We haven't had a summer trip, and we've just been at home enjoying the house that we remodeled last year all throughout the summer. So it's just been nice to just be chilling out and not having the banging of sledgehammers going on. But go ahead, please.
Understand. Yeah. So anyway, I think it started in 2015, and he disturbed everything in 2016 when he became president. And what's her name? I'm not going to say it. She was throwing dishes and breaking stuff up and all that stuff. And he had a stage for 4 years, and he really took good care of us, man. And then 2020 came along, and they stepped into the middle of it again, and here we are again. And they're just trying to take over everything, and it's pissing me off. It's pissing society off. Well, I should say it's pissing about 100 million of us off, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's time for us to take it back over. And they lost it. They lost the shot. They lost it. And now here we are. And they blew it. And now here we are. Let's take control over it. Let's step up, and let's just take it back over and shove it up their ass.
Well, there could be some ass shoving going on soon. Thanks for the call, Keith. It's great to hear from you. There's probably a lot of people that feel that way, and they feel that, hey, rah, let's go get them. Now, obviously, it's just not that simple, but it is at the same time. The focus just has to be local. If we're doing this in an American way, then the let's go shove it up their asses is really all about let's clean out the school board, let's clean out the city council, let's put together citizen organizations like Marley Hornick was doing over here with the New York Citizens Audit to analyze the voting rolls in your respective state and do what needs to be done to make sure that every time that there is a state election that determines your governor and your state legislature and all that stuff, that there is accurate, that everything is set up so that it is accurate and you are able to obtain an actual result. Remember that. Just always remember that. In New York State, as it is right now, it is impossible to verify an election. It could be a Democrat that wins, that is the true winner, a Republican, an independent, a outright socialist, whatever the hell it is. That was the main takeaway from all those discussions we had with Marley Hornick, that there is no way to verify who wins in states like New York. And there was many other states that had that problem, red and blue. So, that's huge, that you can't verify. There's no mathematical way to do it. So that's really what it's all about. Trying not to get swept up in the national, obviously the president, you're going to vote for president every 4 years, and there's a little bit more emotion behind it this year than even in 2020 because of what just happened right now. Then again, we got four more months. But never lose sight of the big picture, which is the little picture. In America, it's bottom up, not top down. I understand it's a big reality TV moment in November. And at the top of the ballot, there's the big show. I understand it's the title bout. We're all living through it. Be that as it may, just always remember the big picture in America is the little picture. So that's why hats off to everybody in this audience who continues to get in touch with me. Frank, I did it. I signed up to be so and so in my town. I ran and I was elected to this board, to that board, and that's the shit that's really awesome. Awesome to hear, and it definitely racks up. It racks up. It does. All right, let's see here. Here's a little something for you. 925 Wild G on the Rumble says more about the newsletter, please. What kind of news, etc. Oh, I'll tell you all about. Oh, the first, there's going to be a piece. There's going to be pieces from guest writers. I think John Carroll is going to do one about new media, or something like that. Something really substantial that is actually rooted into a show idea that I had for a broadcast that I'll probably wait until after the newsletter comes out in August, so that it actually, the show that I do ties back into the content that will be on the newsletter. So it'll actually have it'll feed directly into the nightly show. It'll be really nice in that respect. But there's going to be audience highlights like we're talking about. We even told Matt, listen, we need some exclusive top 5, top 10 lists about how to do one thing or another. You know, all of his advice top 5s. We'll do stuff like that, fun stuff like that. Recipes, things that maybe Lauren is cooking at the time, or anybody, things like Robin McCutcheon's brandy balls. Those are things that'll go out. It'll be themed for holidays, themed for this and that, and we'll always come up with new things. It's not going to be a set format. There's always going to be fresh stuff in there, and it's always going to reflect the show and the culture and the audience, and I think it's going to be really fun. It's going to be great to have that new piece to the operation. I'm really, really excited about it, especially because it's a precursor to holding something physical in your hands, which may be years down the road still, but it's going to feel just as satisfying. All right. Here is Joe and Mika over at MSNBC, and they're upset. They're really upset that they were kept off air for one reason or another. You and I can speculate as to that, but they are liabilities. They are insane people, and if something like what happens on Saturday happens, can you really trust them to say anything that de-escalates the situation? I mean, nobody did. Nobody did. Over there on ABC, George Stephanopoulos and that old hag, that blonde old hag that he was with, rattled off all the instances in which Donald Trump said something to incite violence. Of course, all of them were out of context. They're absolutely insatiable cretins, just cretins. So, but that was ABC. MSNBC was like, please, we don't need this. Joe and Mika, just stay home. Stay home. The janitors are going to do the show today.
I wanted to briefly talk to our friends and viewers that watch us every day, and talk about what happened yesterday. We were told in no uncertain terms on Sunday evening that there was going to be one news feed across all NBC News channels yesterday. The Today Show would be Lester Holt, other people that you worked with on Sunday, and that was going to be one news feed across all NBC News channels, that we were going to stay as a network in breaking news mode throughout all day yesterday. That did not happen. We don't know why that didn't happen. Our team was not given a good answer as to why that didn't happen, but it didn't happen. We were also told it was going to happen throughout the day. And I guess after there was such a strong blowback about yesterday morning, I guess they changed their plans. And so those plans changed as well. So it didn't. We've talked about it off the air. We'll talk about it on the air, because we talk about everything on the air. We were very surprised. We were very disappointed. And if we had known that there wasn't going to be the one news feed from NBC News across all NBC News channels, Willie, we obviously would have been in yesterday morning.
Yeah, I was here up early on Sunday morning with NBC's coverage. Savannah and I.
It was the old ninth. It was the old ninth green at 9 trick from Happy Gilmore. Hey, man, meet us at the 9th green at 9. Oh, you know what happens there? It's a secret of the pros. They show up and the sprinklers go on. They just wanted these two low self-control freaks to be just don't be here for a day. Please don't be here for a day. We have enough problems. We have enough problems. This is very delicate. You got to go. It's the old 9th grade to 9 trick. Oh, man. Just incredible. I mean, they understand. They get it. That's like calling all your friends. Hey, you guys want to hang out? No, just staying in tonight. Then you find out that a couple of your friends went out to go to a movie or something without you. Like, oh, I thought you didn't feel good. What's that all about? You know what it's about. All right, so that's Joe and Mika dealing with it. Now, here's a little inspiring. This is an inspiring thing I wanted to do. Because we're talking about all the people who really just don't get it. And I was talking about bloodlust and unaccountability and how, put together it's a very dangerous situation, very dangerous combination. But here is something that you always have to just remember is happening. It's happening a lot. This is a girl who was very virulent anti-Trump to the point of TDS. You could be, there's a lot of people who are conservatives that don't like Donald Trump or they don't want to vote for him, and there's hang-ups. But we're talking about the disability level of hate. And just here just goes to show that even though you just got to let things happen, what is that red pill threshold? What wakes somebody up? Who is it going to be? Is it going to be from the opposition calling them a retard? Like I have to attract a few more flies through honey than vinegar. I understand that, but sometimes we're getting to that point where it's very hard. But still, there are grains of sand that are shaking through the sifter. Okay, it's shaken on through. There are still people who are just the scales are falling from their eyes, and I love seeing these things, and they do happen more often. And I want to share it with you. So take a listen to this girl's testimony about how things have changed around for her recently.
9 years ago, this was me. I was 17 years old and I was protesting Donald Trump at a rally. I'm making this video so hopefully you can realize that it's okay to admit that you were wrong. A lot of us fell victim to the media's lies and a lot of us hated Donald Trump. You could see that I had a very articulate message and logic and reasoning behind my hatred for the man. No Trump. Trump bad. I encourage all of you to watch the pinned video on this account, Tim Pool's interview with Donald Trump, where he talks about how he wants to bring peace to the world. I know I want peace. I'm sure that you want peace. I know back then I wanted peace, but I was hoodwinked, tricked, lied to, and deceived by the media. Don't be afraid to let go of your ego and admit that you were wrong. Our country depends on it. Last night, we all saw a strong man stand up after being pew-pewed in the face. Don't be a coward. We cannot grow as a country if everyone is scared to say what they're thinking. And make sure you're actually thinking. Here, I was not thinking. I was believing. You cannot think and believe at the same time.
That's great. That's great. That makes me feel good. It just makes things worth it. It does. Makes things worth it. Here's another guy I got to just throw out there. I don't know who the hell he is. Just a random guy walking around the streets of California. And I don't even know who the interviewer is. Natalie Carey? At least that is the account that this is being posted on. Oh, they follow me. Well, I'll follow them back. Californian reacts to seeing the assassination attempt on Trump for the first time. But this guy is so cool. He's just so cool. And it's just such an innocent exchange. Yeah, he's wearing a fluorescent blue stripper wig. A hooker wig, of course. Yes, he is. It is California after all. But he's just there's something so innocent and harmless about him. If I knew I was going to be encountering more of these people, I would do man on the street stuff. because I would love to just show them random things and get reactions and talk to them about the secrets of the universe. But take a listen to this. He is being shown the footage of Trump being shot at.
Oh, it got him in the ear. Wow. Oh, he got so lucky. Why? You know, since I haven't watched the news much, was Trump going to be the president?
He was leading in the polls.
Oh, so they didn't want him. Well, the guy didn't want him. What the heck? He's not afraid. Oh. They must have told me they got the shooter because he wouldn't be standing back up. I wouldn't. If there's shooters, I'd be hiding on the ground. Wow. That's crazy. Man. God, trying to kill the president like they killed that other president. Almost two. Man, that's sad.
Did you see the fist bump when he stood up?
Yeah, like he didn't care. Like, haha, you didn't get me. He said F you or something to the media, or it looked like it.
I just got pulled in. There's a I don't know. That's a free spirit right there. And he's not high. I mean, maybe he smoked a joint. Maybe he just might be mellow, but he's not out of his mind. You know what I mean? You know when somebody's just kind of like, angel dust high? So there's that. All right, listen, a really quick break. Then I have a couple of things from you guys. I have an email that I want to do this Andrew Jackson thing, and I don't want to leave anything on the table like I did last night. Tonight is mostly leftovers from last night, plus some updated news that came out and the Sean Davis thing and all that. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. I got a good one.
This is an aerial smoke screen used to protect ships in battle in the 20th century. The screen of smoke was laid by an airplane. Some planes could lay up to 5,000 yards of smoke. The smoke was colorless and non-flammable. It crystallizes once it hits damp air. It becomes dense and heavy. Makes it hard to locate and aim with the screen up. Proved particularly effective for the U.S. in the South Pacific during World War II.
I feel like somebody stuck a big club up my ass, and it hurts. We've got to figure out a way to get it out of there.
Howdy, friend. You looking for a message board? Go to quitefrankly.tv and enter the forum. Engage with official show topic threads or start your own thread. Get signed up. It's that easy. And it's not Reddit, so don't sweat it. For the forum and so much more, it's quitefrankly.tv. Yeehaw.
Around the case, some said that Jackson's aides had set up the attempt as a publicity stunt to gain support. Oh. Jackson accused Senator George Poindexter of Mississippi of paying Lawrence as part of a plot. Nothing was ever proven in court, and it seemed Lawrence got crazier every day. Vice President Martin Van Buren became so concerned about the political tenor of the day that he carried 2 pistols whenever he went to the Senate chamber after that. Lawrence escaped the death penalty by being found not guilty by reason of insanity. The verdict was arrived at in 5 minutes. He was confined to a mental hospital where he died in 1861. As a footnote, and here's the probability. As a footnote, the pistols used in the attack were later found to be properly loaded and fired perfectly on the next attempt. A century after the attack, researchers at the Smithsonian loaded them the same way and they fired on the first attempt. The odds of double misfire were determined to be 125,000 to 1. So you want to talk about probabilities of survival of point-blank ranged with 2 properly functioning pistols that just happened to misfire. All the conspiracy theories from some who think that it was staged to this, that, or the other. And of course, that link between Donald Trump and Andrew Jackson already. Well, just with the assassination attempt, there's another link now there, too. Only thing is that Donald Trump did not have the ability to beat the shit out of the, what are they calling him? What are they calling him now? They're calling him now Retardy Oswald. I saw that. But you know what? The way that Donald Trump jumped up and was so hopped up on on adrenaline, I'm pretty sure he'd be able to kill him, even at 78 years old. I'm sure he'd be able to kill him. But those are the days when men carried canes in case they had to kill somebody. All right, let's take a look into the Super Chats, and let's open up the lines again. We are almost done with tonight's episode. 914-200-0269. Give me a buzz and let me know what the hell you're talking about or what you're doing. The first one up is... Let's see here. Stephen Ellis says, so many aspects of this attempted assassination story seem to revolve around Jill Biden, such as recommending the Secret Service director and her event taking away resources. Has anyone else deep dived into that? See, there's a thing. I mean, I know that I know that Jill Biden has kind of, well, I mean, she's made a rollicking ass of herself over the last couple of weeks, and she's had to actually play up her importance and play up her character, her public persona a lot more, just to be able to make up for the dwindling energy of her husband. And in doing so, she's really made herself look like a detestable figure, especially because she's had to coach an ailing man through this charade, and it makes her seem like an abuser more than a doting wife. But I really don't think that there's that kind of game planning going on with Joe and Jill. You know, I'm sure they didn't talk to her about one thing, or they probably just said, "Hey, Jill, we are putting together an event over here," and maybe they gave her some small security, I don't know, just some details about the security, but she doesn't have any kind of planning responsibilities for any of that stuff, and that's all taken care of for her. People like Jill Biden are just told when to show up where and what camera to smile into. So I don't know about that. That's why I say I try not to go all in on making the Bidens the masterminds of anything. I think they have their hands full just trying to keep Joe seeming conscious and able. But who knows? Let's see. Porpoiseful, thank you for the call, or thank you for the super chat. Hello, Neil? Is this you?
Yeah, man. How you doing, Frank?
How are you, Neil? Welcome to the show. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say a few things, and then I got a question for you, I guess.
Okay.
How long do you think it takes before they take out that sniper? Because I feel like people are going to start dropping on their side, and they're going to be like, oh, I mean, they might even go as far as saying a mega person took him out, but I mean, he could just, quote unquote, commit suicide or get in a car accident. I mean,
you say, wait, you're asking how long you're wondering if somebody's going to take out the person who took out the shooter?
Yeah, I'm saying they're probably going to take that guy out that popped the shooter, because they're talking about he supposedly came out saying a statement that he was ordered not to take the shot.
Okay. Well, hold on. On that, let me just say this. I'm glad you brought it up, because it wasn't on my mind and it didn't come up naturally, but it was talked about last night when somebody called in and said, "Hey, Frank, you got to check out Judge Napolitano and the
right. I wanted to hear that, man.
Well, I went and I checked it out, and I said to myself, okay, well, if it's Judge Napolitano, then they're definitely going to have some kind of a source that is worthy of talking about. Because earlier on, I think it was on Sunday or something like that, Sunday or early morning Monday, I saw that screenshot getting around from 4chan. Somebody, it's that the sniper went to 4chan, said, "Hi, I'm the sniper. This is my name," and I was told to stand down. I'm like, dude, this is nobody would ever do that. And I saw it. I kind of rolled my eyes. I said, okay, well, you had to expect.
That's what I'm trying to get at, man. I think that even if that was real or fake, he opened his mouth, and now shit's going to start crumbling, at least from their past. I mean, you could see how they take people out, and now I got this notification on my phone saying that it was Iranian plot. Like, okay, dude.
It was Iranian?
That's what they're saying on Apple News right now. I'm like, come on, man. You're going to try and trick us? Like, we're so stupid. This is crazy. Not one person is going to look at that and be like, oh, that's got to be true. And the only way it could be is if Hillary's behind that. I mean, that's where you got to look at Hillary if that's the truth. That bitch, she's so crooked, man. Sorry about my language, but come on, man.
Let me see here. I'm looking around. I got to find that U.S. received intel of okay, hold on a sec. Okay, I got it now. All right, Neil, thank you for the let me read this a little bit. Thank you for the call. I hope you call in again soon.
Hey, real quick, man, my brother Phil, he's out there in St. Augustine. You talked to him quite a bit. I just want to make a shout out to him. I know he's listening, so I appreciate you, man. He showed me your show.
What's up, Phil? And thank you for showing Neil the show. Now I got both brothers watching.
I'm out here in Seattle, man, with the fucking loony birds, dude.
We're all
He's all the way over there, so. Anyways, man, I'm gonna let you get to it. I appreciate you picking up.
You and I are both in loony land. It's okay. We're gonna get through. I was surprised. Let me just say this before I get to this real this quick thing, this exclusive that just came out. Just a little bit before we went live. I can't believe I'm even reading this headline. But I was very surprised to go on to that Judge Napolitano spot that he did on that other show. I don't know what it was. And I went to the timestamp and I was waiting for the source. And when I saw the screenshot from 4chan pop up, I said, come on, guys. That had to just be because they're so old. That had to be because they're just so old. Why would anybody would take a 4chan sniper LARP, which is the most ridiculous thing that the sniper would do, is to go to 4chan and do that. I can't believe that was the source. So, listen, there's plenty of unanswerable, inexplicable things that happened here that paint a very clear picture. And I'm sure somewhere along the line there was a stand down order, but I don't even know what the sniper's name was. Let me see here. Here's the headline. You ready for this? Because I'm not. Secret Service ramped up security after receiving ramped up security where? After receiving intel of Iranian plot to assassinate Trump. No known connection to shooting. What is the subterfuge here all about? U.S. authorities obtained intelligence from human source in recent weeks on a plot by Iran to try to assassinate Donald Trump, a development that led to the Secret Service increasing security around the former president when? There's no indication that Thomas Matthew Crooks, the would-be assassin who attempted to kill former president on Saturday, was connected to the plot. The existence of the intelligence threat from a hostile foreign intelligence agency and the enhanced security for Trump raises new questions about the security lapses at the Saturday rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, and how a 20-year-old man managed to access nearby rooftop to fire shots that injured the former president. U.S. national security officials said the Secret Service and Trump campaign were made aware of the threats before Saturday's rally. Secret Service learned of the increased threat from the threat stream. NSC directly contacted U.S. Secret Service at a senior level to be absolutely sure they can continue to track the latest reporting. Oh, bullshit. Bullshit. But whatever. Whatever. Just convolutes everything a little bit more. It seems like useful information, but also not related, so it's useless information. It's just more things to read. It's just a little something to say. See, everybody wants to kill Trump. Just another little reminder, everybody wants to kill Trump, that's all. 424. Go ahead, you're the last call of the night.
Hey, it's Carlos over in Hollywood. How are you?
Hey, Carlos, what's going on, man? Just kill that stream in the back.
Oh yeah, it's done. It's done. No, I was listening to the guy who just told you about the Iranian thing, which I thought, what the heck? I saw it right as your show was starting, and I'm listening and I'm remembering, and I'm going to be bare bones info that I was maybe a month ago, 2 months ago. There was a story about the war within the war that's going on in Israel and in Palestine, which is that, and Biden is involved. There's some, I'm remembering correctly, there's some military high-tech war weapon that they're fighting over, something to do with computers, and they're basically vying for, I'm so embarrassed, I don't remember exactly what the thing was, but they were vying for getting control over this technology, and that was a subplot going on within within everything going on in the Middle East between Biden and Netanyahu. I know it's not so crazy, but it is an actual. I just can't remember where. I'll go look through my history and see if I can find it, and email it to you. But I just thought that was so. That's the first thing I thought of when I read about the Iranian thing on X.
Yeah,
and
I've never heard about any of that.
It was on some really obscure, site that I went on that someone had turned me on to. That's in the military. I got to remember. I'll go look for it and I'll send it to you tonight. Not to waste your time on the phone, but I thought there's something there. There has to be something there. No different than the Russia hoax, the Iranian hoax. Like they always use a hoax, to throw us off the sniff.
Well,
right?
It's either trying to take away a little bit of heat from one area, but it's always dual purpose to build up a reason to go and achieve some other objective that they have. And of course,
100%.
that's a bipartisan. That is a bipartisan, big time uniparty bucket list item. Iran,
yeah.
So,
it was also one. Isn't it the last country remaining that was on Obama's list of the 9? Was it 7 or 9? The countries over in the Middle East that they would be one by one taking out in order to control that whole region. Isn't Iran the only one we haven't really gone in and?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely one of them, and I obviously have no affinity for them.
I think it's the last one. I'm pretty sure it's the last one. Syria. I mean, all the Yemen, all of them. I think Iran is the last man standing of the country of our country actually invading, taking over and trying to topple the leader. So, there was that.
Whatever you do, Carlos, you got to send that back. You got to send that to me because I'd like to just know what the hell it is. It's interesting how it always gets looped back to some kind of a wish list item like Iran. There's nothing about this nothing about Saturday is related to this, but of course, it's just something that's constantly built up, and I guess maybe they just want to show how internationally everybody wants to get Trump. So there's really no rabbit hole to get down too deep and domestically. I don't know. They got to put up a block somewhere, because if people start digging, the real question is how much longer. And thanks for the call. I hope you have a great night. How much longer can they delay until it gets to the point where get over it? It happened. It was a lone wolf nut. You had a security lapse. This is the state of the world. This is the state of, the guns in the country. We don't like you, but, nobody was trying to kill you. You're still an existential threat who needs to be killed, but we're not trying to do it. We promise. Anyway, all right. So now we got a lot done tonight. I'm sure that over the course of the next couple of days, there will be J.D. Vance is already calling to bomb Iran, says Cody. Not trying to doom post, but what a terrible VP pick. I can read on this tomorrow. I have a thread, a post I'm sure many of you guys have seen on Twitter that gives some of the good, the bad, and the ugly about this J.D. Vance guy, who admittedly I don't know too much about, other than what seemed to be an obvious play for the Rust Belt. I mean, you don't have to be a very big political analyst to see that. If he's from the Ohio area and all of those Rust Belt Midwestern states were the biggest key to getting over 270, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. It just seems like he would be a boost with that region, which is going to be very, very important. Now, as far as going deep, I've seen people say things that they love, things like he's acceptable, we'll make it work, meh, and then, of course, just shit show bad. And a lot of deep diving, like Epstein deep. So maybe we can do a little bit of that tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what's on the agenda as far as topic wise with Isaac Weishaupt if he comes on, and then we'll play it by ear. It's Wednesday, then we got Thursday, and then I'm off on Friday. So we'll get a lot of this stuff in, and I appreciate you guys for the time here tonight. Thank you, one and all. Let me just make sure that I have no super chats that I've missed. None there. The Rumble rants are all spoken for. All the gold pills, thank you guys so much. I'm going to release the scratching right now. And tomorrow is another day, my friends. I thank you so, so much. Become a sponsor. And like the show, comment, share, all that fun stuff. Send me an email. Let me know what you think. Take care.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Everybody else shit. Fuck. Everybody else shit. Fuck. Everybody else shit. Fuck.